Paul Mulcaire, CYC Chairperson for 2019. You broke the record this year for numbers. Let's start with that in your review. How did you cope with that?
Well, I think there's a lot of new teams coming in, so we knew it was going to be bigger. It seems every year we're here coming to CYC, we're always talking about how big it's getting. There's new clubs starting up, and these cities are well able to cope with the fields and the volunteers, so it can get that big, fairly easy, with the professionals at it is what I'd call them, for doing these. And I think we've 257 teams, 258 teams this year, and over 600 games, probably 650, I'd say, games this weekend. And they pulled it off. I mean, it's if you look around and see it, they did it. So being bigger didn't scare anybody. We did it. And I'll attribute it to the clubs are growing. They're bringing in more members into the club, and some of them might be amalgamating, but there's an awful lot of standalone teams as well, which shows you the development, like where it's coming up to. And the standard is raising. Just watching it every year, you can see that standard in it.
You mentioned the word professional, and really if you come in here you could only be impressed about the way that the whole place was run.
Absolutely. It's amazing how they get all these volunteers that just keep coming back. And it's the old saying, this is a lot of work from 5:30 in the morning, 5 o'clock until 9, 10 o'clock at night. And if I hired them to do that, they'd quit. Well, yet they're doing it for nothing, and they're giving up their time, they're giving up work, they're losing money, they're coming out here, and I give an awful lot of credit to Philadelphia. It was my first CYC on the CYC steering committee here in Philadelphia in the last one, and I was amazed at that. I'm even more amazed at this one. They're just a great organization here in Philly, and didn't even blink an eye, when anything that would come up. They got it done.
You stepped in to take over from Liam Hegarty this year. Of course, he was the chairperson last year and has sadly passed away, and it was a very emotional weekend for everybody, and his family were involved, and his son even was playing and made a fantastic save I saw in one of the games. So it's been a difficult weekend and difficult for you to step in, but again you all stepped up to the plate.
Absolutely. It's very hard to deal with this weekend without Liam, because he kind of tutored me over the years to take over for him as youth officer, which I did when his term was up. And then to have that happen 2 weeks later, nobody, was ready for that, the emotional part of it. And we thought coming here we would be ready, being so much later now, but it really is hard to be here. He was an amazing man. I've learned a lot from him, and I think that's why some of these people maybe thought that I'd be good, to come in and step in for Liam. But it really is hard, because this is what he loved, the CYC, the premier games. In his own town this year, his son Michael's last CYC that he would have been playing here, and he was at our county camp this week, Michael, and he's a very impressive kid, as all of the Hegarty boys are.
Next year, you go to San Francisco, West Coast. What's that going to be like?
Well, it's normally smaller, because obviously it's a big travel expense for a lot of families from this side, but it's always great in San Francisco, and it will be big. It's just not going to be as big as the East Coast ones are. And San Francisco, an amazing organization as well, and they will do a fantastic job for us.